Alright, y'all, we about to cook in the kitchen tonight. We're gonna talk about estate planning with Shawn Perrin. Okay. Let's see. Alright, estate planning with Shawn Perrin. Tonight, we're going to talk about wills, things you should know, things you should be doing in case you need estate planning, wills, anything we can think of. So, just a little Tuesday night cook-up session, impromptu. Let's see. Right now we're just setting up our Facebook Live session. What up, world? Let's see. Finally exhaled. Change this camera around. There we go. Alright, we're doing estate planning right now with Shawn Perrin. Waiting on him to come into the room. Just doing a little impromptu setup. So, let me push this back some. Alright, got the red hat on tonight. Okay, so it's Michael Bird Meal Prep Monday. Tonight we are doing estate planning. We're going to talk about wills, things you should know that's vital in not only the black community, but in all communities. So, you know, Chadwick Boseman just passed. He didn't have a will. So, we're going to talk about those type of things with Mr. Perrin. We're going to talk about life growing up in Everton, how he ventured out, what he got into, and where we go now. So he's coming online, so he'll be on momentarily. Y'all like the red chef hat? Like I said, we're cooking in the kitchen. Alright. So he just entered the studio. Can you hear me? Alright. So multi-billionaires coming online. And for those who don't know, and which I just found out, this is the brother of Keefe and Cam McLaren. I did not know that. So, again, I just found that out my damn self. Can you hear me? Alright, Mr. Perrin, let me know if you can hear me. I see you online. So, Meal Prep Monday live. We're on Facebook, Instagram Live, and we're on our podcast, mealprepmonday.podbean.com. So you see me on there, just Swing through and say what up. Testing, 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 testing. Probably take this long.
Mr. Burke, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir, I can.
Fantastic, man. Hey, I apologize for that. I was hard-headed. I didn't follow your instructions and put on the headset.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. So, so do you see the option to call in? Well, I can hear you now. So you called in, I guess, already.
I did. I didn't have the headset in, so I had to put the headset in.
All right. So this is Meal Prep Monday. We're doing estate planning with Shawn Perrin. This was an impromptu but much needed conversation. So, Mr. Perrin, without further ado, can you introduce yourself, sir?
Yes, sir. Mr. Burton, first of all, thank you for having me on, sir. I greatly appreciate it. My name is Shawn Perrin. Some of y'all may remember me as Shawn David. We all grew up together. Born and raised in Elberton, Georgia. I left Elberton in about, 1985. Moved to Ohio, stayed with my father, went to high school, finished high school there, graduated, went to college in West Virginia. Spent some time there, came back down south, and hey man, just been down here living life, growing, learning, becoming wiser, making mistakes like we all do, but that's how you gain wisdom, man.
Yeah, learning.
Yes, sir. Been an entrepreneur for about the last 20 years. Got a background like most people, did some things I shouldn't have did, but I learned from those as well. Just found out a way to turn my life around and do things for the positive, for the better.
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
So for the, I just met Shawn tonight, you guys, and we just had like a 16-minute conversation that was so fulfilling that we had to do a podcast. We had to do a quick session because we talked about estate planning, and I was just telling them about, Prince, but you were also telling me about Chadwick Boseman, and give me some information on what exactly is estate planning and why is it even important?
First of all, if you're even thinking about creating generational wealth, which a lot of people are these days, because that's what everybody's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And I use the word wealthy, and when I use the word wealthy, I don't mean just in finances. I mean in mindset, body, and soul.
Exactly.
I know that's what you. Yes, sir. So
yeah, exactly.
We haven't been taught that as a community. And when we have somebody that introduces that to the community, we take it as someone trying to take advantage of us. It's got to be a scam. Someone's trying to get over on us.
Yep.
But what we need to understand, not only as Black America, but all America, we need to start learning to study. Google. Hey, Google's a smart dude. Google got a lot of information.
Yes. Yeah.
If you Google things, you can find out real quick if somebody's telling you some fabrication or they telling you the truth. So with estate planning, man, as you and I was talking about earlier, all of our families, some form of fashion down through the generations have been taken advantage of by people who knew the law and we did not.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a will in place, your children, I don't care if you're 25 or you're 100, if you don't have a will in place, the state dictates who gets your children, who gets your assets. If you're married and don't have a will, and something happens to you and your spouse cannot access the account if the financial institutions decide that he or she doesn't have the proper documentation to access those accounts. Now your accounts are frozen and you can't do anything. You and I also was talking about, let's think about how many of our family members and friends we're hearing about right now that just passed during this pandemic, that they had to have GoFundMe accounts to pay for their burials. Think about how many people we've paid for out of our pocket to put in to bury. The land that some of our ancestors have had. I'm not going to go into detail because it's not my business to tell some people's private family affairs, whether they're mine or anybody else's. But if you don't have a will in place, your children do not get your estate. They don't get your finances. They don't get your land. The land is passed down through generations that your ancestors worked hard to get. And now it goes back to the state. I remember as a child being around the older people in my family talking about certain judges and certain people in Elberton back in the day, years ago, that were waiting until people of color would get behind on their taxes in their land, and they go in and pay the taxes off and they get the land.
Yeah.
You can do that right now. You can go to the courthouse right now and do that.
Yeah, exactly. They have that sale.
And it's legal. It's legal.
Yeah, that's why I tell people. Yeah, the game is easy. It's not like they hiding it.
Nah, you just never ask, so they don't tell. They put things in books because they know most people won't read. Not just Black America, but most of America. 7 out of 10 Americans don't have a will. 8 out of 10 single parents don't have a will, and 9 out of 10 minorities don't have wills in place. Well, we don't talk about wills because we don't like talking about dying. But let's get this straight. It's going to be a day we all going to leave here. Whether it's pre-planned or not, we going to leave here. And if you don't have things in place to take care of your family, then who's going to take care of your family? If you love, a wealthy person once told me, one of my mentors told me, if you don't have a will in place, you don't love your family. It's a love letter to your family. I'm so appreciative that when my mother passed in 2008, she had a will in place. She laid out what she wanted each one of her sons to do, what she wanted each one of her sons to have, and what she wanted things to go to certain people in her family. It was no argument. One of my older aunts died before my mother died. She had a will in place. She got it through me. She had a will in place. The land that she owned, it was passed down to my mom. When my mom passed, it was passed down to my brothers and I. Now, how did that happen? That's generational wealth.
Yeah.
But if she didn't have a will in place, that land would have went back to the government. The government would have decided if we could get that land or not. So, man, we don't talk about these things, Mr. Burton. First of all, we don't like to talk about dying.
Nope.
Number two, a will, the average will, I'm not sure about in the Elbert County area, but in most big cities, most major areas, the average will is about $500 per person. With my services, you can get that will complimentary with the membership. And you can also update it once a year. Now, number two, the price. You get a living will, a healthcare power of attorney, and a financial power of attorney with our services. Now, that's going to protect your money. That's going to protect your family. That's going to protect your land. If you are working hard to create generational wealth, wouldn't you be smart enough to protect yourself?
Insurance.
Exactly, insurance. You need it. You got health insurance in case you go to the doctor. You got that. You got car insurance in case something happens to your car. You got homeowners insurance.
Yeah.
You got all these
You got insurance on your phones.
On your phone.
But you won't put insurance on your estate.
On your rims on your car. On your rims on your car.
Yeah.
You know, the music on your car. Because I did that. When music and rims first were popular, I was one of the first ones to have all that stuff. So I did the same. I made the same mistakes. But when somebody introduced me a way that I could protect everything that I've worked hard for, it only made sense to me. When I began to introduce it to friends and family, some of them said yes, some of them said no, mostly because they was buying me. They were buying who I used to be. They wasn't looking at what I had became. They was buying the Shawn that used to run the streets and do the things he didn't have no business doing.
Yeah.
They wasn't looking at the new and improved person, even though I'm not a perfect person, but I'm a mature person, because none of us are perfect, but we're all mature. And when we're here to offer this information to help people, why not take advantage of it? You're talking about $1 a day to protect your family and to protect. I tell you what, Mr. Burton, when a tree falls on your house and the Allstate don't want to pay the policy, who do you argue with? You gonna argue with them back and forth, or you gonna get your attorney on the phone? Well, guess what? I can get my attorney on the phone. They can shoot a letter or make a phone call to Allstate. Allstate go ahead and cut me my check. But when you're trying to do it yourself, they put you in the legal pile and they don't answer your phone call no more, because they count on you not having an attorney or not being able to afford to pay an attorney $300-400 an hour for a $200 problem. So you just take the loss.
They retain them.
And then you just take the loss. But if you had a service like I'm providing, you're already protected. All you got to do is pick up the phone and an attorney either go to court with you, for you, or advise you on what to do. The information alone is priceless. The reason people are getting wealthy in America and all over the world as rapidly as they getting rich is because information. If you don't have the information, by the time most people get the information, it's too late. When the masses hear about it, it's too late. The wealthy has already made the money.
And that's one thing that I talk about in our community, estate planning, insurance, things that tomorrow's not promised. So how can you best help your family today? And when I was out there, and I used to sell insurance, right? And I used to have the most difficult time getting people to think about buying insurance, especially if I say, hey, you want to leave something for your family today? Like, nope.
Yeah, yeah.
That's one thing I can't understand. I'm like, why would you want your kids to work harder than you?
Broken mindsets, man. We listen, Mr. Burton, I know you know it, man. I'm pretty sure you've talked about it on other podcasts as well. But what hurts my heart the most is not that people tell me no. It's not that you're not willing to open your mind up to get educated on what you can do to make your future better.
Yep.
Your mindset is broken. I think it was T.I. the other week, he posted something about, hey, instead of y'all buying Louis Vuittons and Michael Jordans and LeBrons, buy some property.
Buy some property, exactly.
Buy some property.
Exactly.
Instead of riding around with a $50,000 car and you rent an apartment, come on, bro.
Yeah, or these Birkins.
You riding around, you got on LeBrons, you got on $100 jeans, you got on $200 coat, $1,000 watch. And there's nothing wrong with that. I've had all those nice things too. It's okay to have nice things. But first, invest in yourself. Most of us, we won't pick up a book and read. Nope. We won't listen to good information, but we'll watch television, we'll buy, and even the rappers and things that we watch and we follow, they're even telling you, stop investing your money in things that's not going to make you wealthy. Mm-hmm. They're telling you this. But you don't listen to them. But we want to get up and we want to complain about how the economy is going, how jobs are. You can't stand your job, you can't stand your boss, you can't stand the people you work with, but you won't do anything to change your mindset. So whatever you complain about, that's what you're going to continue to get. Because if you focus on it, that's what you should have.
Hey, and Mr. Perrin.
Yes, sir.
We actually got a question in for you. So they want to know, is a trust better than a will?
A trust
and
is
that
not
come
different.
from finally excelled. So, hey, thanks for that question.
Absolutely. A trust is when you got a lot of financial wealth.
Mm-hmm.
When you have companies, when you have land, if you own real estate, you own houses, and you want certain people.
Bezos probably got a trust, huh? Jeff Bezos probably got a trust, huh?
Yeah. A person like you, Mr. Burton, you got to trust. You follow what I'm saying? I got to trust.
Yeah.
But a will is just a love letter to your family. And that ensures that if something happens to you, so whoever gets your children. I was talking to a single father the other day. He got 4 children, working, doing everything the correct way. And he was just telling me he was fighting custody with his ex-wife because she wanted him back. And he got to go back to court. He got to come out of his pocket for like $1,500 just for the lawyer to take the case. And I was like, man, if you had these services and you'd have had them for 90 days, you've been protected 100%.
Wow.
We don't understand the power of what we have when people share information with us. First of all, because you don't buy that person. Number 2, you don't trust that person. So going back to the question, a trust is for someone who has immense wealth.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying immense wealth. I'm talking about you got millions of dollars and you want to make sure that I set up a trust, so maybe you want to pay tithes to a certain church or a certain organization for the rest of your generations. And you want this money to go to a certain place. That's what a trust is for. But a will is for your immediate family, what you got going on. That's what you want to take care of. A trust is for somebody with more. And I'm not saying the person that asked the question doesn't have more, but those are really what trusts are really set up for.
Yeah, and that's why I tell people, especially, like I said, Americans of African descent, about investing. If you're, I'm just gonna say, if we're broke, if we're impoverished, and we run up on some money, let's say the stimulus, you may well go all in on the stock, because if you're broke now, more likely you're gonna be broke a couple months from now, because we don't know how to manage that money. So we're gonna waste it somehow, whether it's on any of our vices or giving it to people. So you may well go all in. And so
the first thing they're gonna buy is the new iPhone. Like the new iPhones just came out. People get those 12, and I'm not knocking anybody for getting a stimulus check. Congratulations. But like you said, you're going to buy a cell phone, you're going to buy a new TV or something like that. No, why don't you take that money and invest it in something that's gonna give you a return?
Yeah, we value that, man, I just see it a lot. And so let me ask you this. So let's say me, if I just met you off the street, how can I get in contact with you? How can I establish a will or a trust or estate planning? Like you have a website. How can I get in contact with your services?
Fantastic. I'm glad. Great question, sir. Hey, man, you can reach me at 864-353-4606. Once again, my cell phone number is 864-353-4606. You can reach me via email at ShawnKPerrin@yahoo.com. That's a simpler one I have. I have 2 or 3 email addresses. My website, you can contact me at www.ShawnPerrin. Matter of fact, Mr. Burton, I need to go ahead and email that to you. Maybe you can post it on
and
the
I
site.
put it on the site as well. I put it
I'll do that.
on mealprepmonday.com. It will be right there on the splash page. We'll put that right
I'll
there.
get that to you because I have several of those too. And I'm actually sitting on my back porch enjoying this evening. I was making some phone calls when you and I got together. So I go in there and I get that information to you. They can be able to contact me, but the best way they can get me is they can call me directly, and I can send them some information over. They can take a look at it, and then I can answer any questions they may have. Because the better the questions, the better results, and it's an opportunity not only for them just to get their estates and their affairs in order, but to also protect everything that they have already.
Yeah.
Showing them how to save money, because most people think that when they spend money, they're losing money. But if you look at it from a wealthy mindset, you're investing in yourself. When you invest in yourself, they're a double-digit return. And most African-American people don't know how to invest in themselves.
Yeah,
they just know how to invest in what everybody else tells them to invest. Because whatever the television tells us to do, that's what we do.
Exactly. Yeah, that's actually a show on Netflix to talk about the marketing and all that stuff. And Americans of African descent, we will buy the hell out of the logo. We will give Ralph Lauren his money. We will give Hilfiger. We will give Timberland. We will give everybody their money except for the community. And
Absolutely.
like I said, this whole big thing with Birkin, and I just wish that we would just take that $20,000, regardless if you got it or not. Take that $20,000 and just invest in the black community. Killer Mike got a bank that's black owned. Because whether you need it now, but 20 years from now, you would need that money. And so Shawn, this is what I always ask people also, and I got a couple of people that's coming up this week, and you probably already know them. This is like one of the questions that I have for every single person, okay? What would the older you, the you now, tell the younger you 20 years ago?
Man, great question once again, Mr. Burton. I would have told myself 20 years ago to go for your dreams right then. Don't wait. I'm 52 now. When I first got introduced to legal entrepreneurship, I was about 34 years old, and I was coming out of the world. I was coming out being that person I thought I was a thug. I thought I was all those things. That don't mean anything, man. Thugs are either in dead or jail. Dead in jail or dead in the grave, man. I'm blessed that I'm still alive because it was things I did I should not be walking around. I should be locked up too. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But by the grace of God, I'm here. So with that being said, what I would tell Deshaun at 20 years ago, listen, man, go for your dreams now. Whether you sacrifice now, the payoff is so much greater. Don't listen to your friends and family if they're not supporting you. If you hang around 5 broke people, you're going to be the 6th broke person.
Yes, you will.
If you hang around 5 wealthy people, some of that information is going to fall off on you.
Yeah.
It may take you a while to get it. Somebody may even say, well, Shawn, you're not where you claim you want to be. No, I will never get to where I want to be because I'm always going to be growing. But in the process of growing, I'm becoming a better person. And as I become a better person, I realize that when I give, the universe, God himself got to give it back to me. If you do right by people, people will do right by you. I had to learn that even when people tell me no, when people laugh at me, when people make fun of me, I had to understand that they're not picking at me. They're laughing at the insecurities that's inside of themselves.
Yeah, I'm a victim of that too.
Most people are insecure with themselves. So they project their insecurities on you. So, man, go for you. That's what I would tell the younger Shawn. Go for it. And I went for it, but I allow people who love me to hold me back because I bought their opinion and rather than buying the lifestyle that I wanted, Mr. Burton.
Yeah. Yep, that is so true, and I was the same way, and that's the thing about the community is that, like I said, when we're in our 20s and 25, man, you just living for that moment, trying to impress people, and again, things that you wanted to do, you shared it with someone, they're like, nah, man, that ain't no work, and you just let it go, and more likely that person probably shared it with someone else that did it, and highly successful.
Absolutely. Well, I saw a quote, and I can't remember who it's probably been said for hundreds of years, but it said, "Don't share your dreams with small-minded people."
Yeah, I believe that.
And most of the time, the people we love the most, no disrespect to nobody, because I got to go give a shout out right now while you got me on the podcast. Both of my brothers, my cousin Keith Glaze, my cousin El McIntosh, my aunt Miller Perrin, my aunt
Who your brothers also? Shout out your brothers.
Yes, Cam McClary, Shannon McClary, my sister-in-law, Shika McClary, my sister-in-law, Shay McClary. They've all supported me on my endeavors as I become who I'm becoming. They've been right there. Dorian Dubose, they've been in my back.
I know Dorian.
Back. Yeah, man, if I needed anything, hey, they're there for me because they understand I was going for something I should have went for a long time ago. You follow what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And my family has been very supportive, so I want to thank them right now. But sometimes you have to go with even out the support, and it hurts, but you become better through the pain. The pain is not there for the pain. The pain is there to make you realize who you really are.
Yeah.
And you get to uncover, because pressure do two things, Mr. Burton. It either busts pipes or it creates diamonds. And if you want to be a diamond, it's going to cause pressure. And most people don't want to go through the pressure. I was sharing some information with one of my younger cousins the other day who's very successful. Me and her was having a conversation. I was just like, cuz, just keep doing what you're doing. Don't stop. Keep going.
Yeah,
because
keep going.
The minute you stop, you're going to regret it.
Mm-hmm. I got a little niece, Keandra. I mean, I'm proud of, everyone in my family. I got some nieces, Taisha Reed and Keandra, and she's young, man, and we're always talking about businesses and credit, and I was sharing some stuff with her, and she was doing it, and she was following it, and I'm following her now. She on her own company. Credit score is through the roof. She's doing good, and that's the thing. Like I said, about having positive encouragement, because it's easy for someone to say something negative. And I find it difficult for people with ill intent to say something positive. And believe me, even when starting Meal Prep Monday, you hear the same stuff about, why put that stuff out to the people? Black people ain't gonna listen to it. Black people don't want this stuff. And I got the same text, and I was kind of hurt. And I'm like, no. I like, regardless of whether they take it or not, it's my duty to put it out there.
That's right. You did your part. You did what you felt led to do, because whatever you give out, like we just said, whether you believe in karma or if you want to use scripture, either one, it's the same thing. Whatever you put out, God gonna give back to you.
Yeah.
Whether you call it God or the universe, it's gonna come back to you. Mm-hmm. So when you treat people well, but it goes back to what we were talking about earlier, Mr. Burton. Most people can't celebrate you because of the insecurities they have.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And if they would understand that if you see me doing it, you can do it too. Even for the people that want to follow scripture, when Jesus told Peter to come out on the water, Peter could come out on the water because he believed he could. But as soon as the wind blew, which was other people talking about him, with other people putting him down, he looked down, he failed. As soon as he did that. So if we believe what we say we believe, why don't we act the way we should act?
Yep.
But most people are afraid of what their friends and family. The one thing I learned, Mr. Burton, I'm sure you did too, in your entrepreneur endeavor, that when people cannot believe in you, celebrate you, or help you, and they pulling you down, not only are they casting their insecurities on you, but most of them are afraid to see you make it because they didn't make it.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Jay-Z said it the best. He said, his uncle said, well, you'll never sell a million records. He told his uncle, I done sold a million records like 1,000,000 times.
Yeah. And you look at my blogs and on my site, I quote a lot of Jay-Z. 22 twos, Gotta learn to live with regrets and things like that, because I love his entrepreneurial spirit. Sean Carter, Puffy,
Yes,
Jeezy,
sir.
T.I., you know, Killer Mike,
Killer Mike. Yeah,
um,
man.
Chuck D, Q, I mean Dre was NWA, in the
Absolutely.
80s.
Absolutely.
Now Dre Beats got, part of
Well, he
USC.
just, hey, yeah, he just set up, he just built a school, man, at the University of Southern California
Yeah,
for
yeah,
entrepreneurs from
exactly.
Compton to go
USC,
to.
exactly. USC, exactly. And so, your older you is Dre, the Dre of NWA, and now
I appreciate that, man.
the you now is Dre of Apple Beats and things like that, and now it's up to us to continue to invest in you, because you're only investing in the community. You know.
Right around Elberton. I appreciate that, man. I'm so glad you said that. I seen somebody, I believe it was Jarita Porter. She placed it on
Oh yeah,
Facebook
that's my
a while
classmate,
back.
Jarita Porter.
Yeah, yeah. She placed it on Facebook. She was talking. She was taking pictures of all the broken down houses in the neighborhood over. Because I grew up over on Alma Street, Lockland Street, right there as a little boy. I stayed down. We lived down there until I was about 11 years old. Then we moved to the country. But that same neighborhood, when I come home now, I see all these dilapidated, falling in houses that all the people from the past own, but none of their children or their grandchildren are taken care of to rent them out or make them places to live in. But you know what's going to happen? The city ever going to buy all that property up, and they're going to put there what they want to put there. And then the same
Gentrification.
people that live in that community, the same people that live in that community are going to complain about the white man that came in and did this. No, you had the opportunity to do it. You just didn't want to do it because you didn't believe that you could have something like that.
Yeah.
And then when you see other people buying the property up, you mad at them because they doing something good to invest in the community, but you're not willing to do the same thing.
Yeah.
We got to do better as a people, man. If it took 10 of us to get together and put $500 in a pot and buy one house, it'll be worth it.
Damn, that was the exact same thing that we just talked. Me and Alice Jones, his
My
brother
cousin,
named
that's my
Derek
cousin
Jones.
as well.
Yeah,
That's my cousin.
he live on the block, LTD. We just talked about that. He was just talking to him and his brother, and they were talking about getting together and trying to get people like an investment group to do stuff like that. I hopefully don't give his vision away too soon. But yeah, but exactly, that's the same thing. We're all talking about the same thing, but in silos. And
Right.
again, how
And
can
guess
we
what?
come together to do that?
Whether we do it in different pockets or we all do it together, as long as it get done.
Yeah, yeah,
Because I got a vision board, and I got some visions I wrote down maybe almost 18 years ago when I first became an entrepreneur in this sector. And I realized, and I wrote down, I wanted to build private hospitals. I wanted to build banks. I wanted schools to teach our children how to be entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Because that's what the wealthy people do. Wealthy people don't send their children to school to get an education. They send their children to school because most of the time they have to. It's the law.
yeah.
But as soon as they get out of school, they teaching their children about financial literacy. They teaching their children about how to
Financial
create
literacy.
more wealth.
I'm
But
glad
we
you
as
talked
a
about
people-
that financial literacy. Exactly.
Absolutely. And we as a people, when we talk about financial, all you think about is money. I put a post on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn about an hour or two ago. And it said, if money is not everything, then work at McDonald's.
Yeah, yeah. I saw that. Yeah, exactly. I like that post.
Because
Exactly.
if you don't have money, money is like air. If you don't got it, you can't live, my friend. So So the religious sector has taught you money was evil. No, they taught you that so that you would stay a slave. Not just in slavery time, but a slave in your mindset.
Yeah.
As Malcolm X said, man, Plymouth Rock, we didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. We've been tricked, we've been hoodwinked, we've been bamboozled, and we've been tricked out of our birthright. We need to know that we are all kings and queens, not just in saying it and in buying the clothes and looking like a king and queen, but you got to learn to think like a king and queen. I'm going to say that again. We must learn to think like kings and queens. We need to stop letting our children be on TikTok making these twerking videos and doing all that. And I'm not
And
telling people
TikTok
to do
the
it
one
with
getting all the
children.
money.
They're getting all the money. You're not getting anything from them.
Nothing.
All the content belongs to them.
Yeah.
It's not
Ownership.
your creative
Ownership.
content. Ownership.
Ownership.
It's ownership.
That's what we talk
Yeah.
about in the Bezo model. Ownership. That's the last thing. Build, invest, save, own. Ownership. Intellectual
You gotta
property.
own.
You gotta
Yeah,
own.
man.
And we entertain a lot. Black people account for billions of dollars just in the U.S. Whether it's hair, entertainment, hard labor, anything. I mean, we account for
Alcohol. Man, check
alcohol,
this out.
Hermes.
TD Jakes, he posted something, it's been years ago now, and it may have been almost 10 years ago. At the time, he said the black community of America by itself was the 7th largest gross national product in the world. And we spent all of our money on alcohol, lottery tickets, clothes, entertainment, and cars.
Yeah. That pretty much sums it up. Yeah.
And I was gonna post
Fast
something
food,
a couple
if
days
you
ago,
toss that
but I
in there.
didn't. I was gonna post something saying that black ignorance is $1 billion industry, but I'm gonna take that back. It's $1 trillion industry now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because all the videos, all the commercials you see, watch them. Just watch them. Pay attention to what they're saying.
Mm-hmm. You know, because it's easy for them to sell us, but we won't be at the decision making or in the boardroom. That's what Kanye is talking about. You know, he want to be on the board of Adidas, the board of all these brands that, you know,
Absolutely.
he's talking about, and which I do like I said, but not just be on the board, continue to own it. Yeah. Because we put the power in the logo. We put the power in the label. Like this Meal Prep Monday. This is what I'm rocking right now. Because we put the power in it. You know, a million people can go out and buy this, or a million people can go out and buy Polo. Who is Polo?
Absolutely.
Polo's owned by Brooks Brothers. That's just a lease. The horse is leased by Brooks Brothers.
Yes, sir. That was a perfect example you gave about Kanye, Jay-Z, and all these guys. Because I remember when Jay-Z first bought some of the Brooklyn Nets, where they were the New Jersey Nets, when he bought them, he had them moved to Brooklyn. He bought a percentage of them. Somebody was criticizing him about it. Him and a couple of his people kind of split over the decision. But he was saying, if I can't get in the boardroom, I'll never be able to be the owner. So the only way I got to get in a piece of it. Once I get a piece of it, I can learn the rest of it. That's what he's did. He's created a brand. But we as a people, we won't do that because we don't think we can. The other big, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not phenomenon, but the other big misconception is that all the things that are being controlled in America, black people have been sitting on those boards as well. It's not just the white people that are pumping this stuff in our community. It's black people too.
Oh yeah,
they're on those boards too, because guess what? They're getting wealthier and wealthier every day. Most people don't know it, but it was black slave owners.
Mm-hmm.
People don't know.
Oh yeah, I mean, I can definitely believe it.
If you research when they was coming into the ports of Savannah, those people were being sold by us. Mm-hmm. You hear what I'm saying? So, but we've been taught to hate everybody else. But the more we hate ourselves. Yeah. And that's why we keep getting taken advantage of. If you look at all the other ethnic communities in the United States, whether they're people from Eastern Indians from Europe, from Asia, from South America, from Mexico, wherever they come from, watch those people. They come, we laugh at them. It'd be 10 of them in one house.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, all 10 of them got a business, all 10 of them got a mansion. Mm-hmm. But you was laughing at them 5 years ago.
Yeah, look at Subway. Exactly. Look at Subway. Exactly. And that's what we have to do as a black community, you know. Even if it takes five of us in one home to, you know, save that money and help build each other up. And okay, let's take the younger person. Let's invest in that younger person, because that's what I feel that's happening in a lot of other communities. Because if you invest in that younger person, I think the return on your investment is gonna probably be more fruitful than investing in the older person, because the older person got life insurance. You know, you don't want to put life insurance on the kid, because hopefully you guys can, if something were to happen, you can pay that. But you're gonna get more payoff from an older person, so you put more life insurance or more investments in that younger person to take care of the whole family. And of course, like I said, the mid family, you all supporting each other to grow and nurture that young person. But and me and my wife talk about this a lot. What happened to the money in the black community? Because if you look at any of these affluent neighborhoods, you're always gonna see Caucasians, you're always gonna see Indians, you're always gonna see Asian American. You may see a droplet of 1 or 2 Americans of African descent.
Right.
What happened to the money in the black community? That's always the question. Where's the money?
Ignorance. The ignorance, because they didn't know. See, ignorance, and when we hear the word ignorant, we think stupid. No, ignorance don't mean you stupid. Ignorance means you just didn't know.
Yeah.
And when someone tried to educate you, you said it was a scam. They was trying to take your money, or they was trying to get over on you.
Mm-hmm.
The information has always been available, but they put it in a book, and most people will not read. Well, guess what? Most of my friends who are wealthy, Mr. Burton, they're dyslexic. They can't read that good, but they can listen to information, and they can go research the information. Because if you want the information, you can access it.
Yeah.
Can't nobody stop
Yeah, exactly. The information is out there. Like I told you, it's not like they hiding it.
No,
You
they
know,
never hid it.
Meal Prep Monday isn't
it.
anything new. It's
No.
straight off the internet.
Yes, sir.
You know, so
Yes,
just
sir.
a matter of us just putting it in the form that people can understand it. Like I said, bottling up and reselling it. And this is free
Absolutely.
information that we're putting out. It's still free information, and we would still, unless it's coming from, again, a well-known rapper or
Right. Right.
maybe President Obama. I think they listened to Jay-Z before Obama because, you know, that's what the masses may like. But, you know, someone so intellectual as President Obama, it probably still don't resonate with maybe a third of the community.
Absolutely. Well, even saying that, even if you listen to what Jay-Z, like you said, if you start out with his first album to his last album,
Reasonable
he showed
Doubt.
you the evolution. He showed you the evolution of who he became. He went from being a hustler to a legitimate businessman and a husband and a father.
Yep.
Okay, he shared all his mistakes. He showed everything he did wrong. He showed what he did right. All right. With that being said, most people are still only gonna look at is how beautiful his wife is, how much money he got, and what he's driving and what he's living in, instead of figuring out how did he do it and what did he do to get there.
And even
Because
in one of
it
his
takes
quotes,
work.
even in one of his quotes on his last, the story of OJ, he said he's giving you $1 million knowledge for $9.99.
Exactly. But
$1
most
million.
people miss that.
Yeah.
Most people miss that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and I gotta give a shout out to another friend of mine a brother of mine who's been supportive. His name is Chad Freeman. He's somebody who's taught me a
Chad
great
Freeman?
deal. I met this
What's up, Chad
yes,
Freeman?
Sir, man. Yes, sir, man. This gentleman, him and his wife have been very supportive of me. I love them dearly. He's my brother as well. I got to give him a shout out because, matter of fact, he's the one turned me on to Jay-Z. Because I didn't listen to Jay-Z until about 4 or 5 years ago. And I went back and I listened to all his music. I was like, this dude is deep.
Yeah.
Then I saw what he was doing in the community. I just watched something on Vlad TV a little while ago about one of these rap artists that was trying to commit suicide one night at a party getting drunk. And he said he didn't know how he got home, but Jay-Z picked him up on his shoulder, drove him home, and said, man, what are you trying to do? And the dude said, I just wanted to die. And Jay sat there with him, shared with him how he had beat depression.
Yeah, depression is real. We just had mental health in the community. We will continue to have mental health and social workers on Meal Prep Monday because it's real, you know, and we all battle with it every single day. You know, we wake up. It's almost like we're born in a depressive state because, again, you're born into a world that's already set up against you. So, yeah, I can definitely understand
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely.
But it's up to us to continue to shift that paradigm, though.
We have to.
By
Mr.
voting.
Burton.
We got to vote first.
We got to vote. We got to vote. We got to become not only active in our community, but we got to learn to listen. And I'm going to share this with everybody in the Elberton community and any other place that you're listening to. You need to go to all of your Chamber of Commerce meetings. You need to go to those, especially if you're thinking about buying real estate, because you need to know where the new zoning laws are going. You need to know where the new permits, how they're working. You need to find out who's the new prosecutor. You need to find out who's the new probate judge. You need to know all of these things. You need to find out who the tax commissioner is, because you can go down to the courthouse and buy property that's probably been distressed for years and nobody wanted. You could probably pick it up for little or nothing. And if you know how to do, that's what wealthy people do. They do work through information that most people are not willing to do. Mr. Burton, the thing I found out about success is when people are presented with an opportunity to become successful, It comes with work, comes behind it. It comes dressed in overalls. That means you got to go to work. And most people are not willing to work on themselves.
Yeah.
Because we always want to blame it's the white man, it's the black man, it's my mama's fault, it's my daddy's fault, it's the baby mama drama fault, it's everybody's fault. But I'm going to tell you what happened for me, Mr. Burden. At the age of 51, after my second divorce, I had to look in the mirror and see what the real problem was, because it couldn't be my two ex-wives, because if they left me for the same reason, something had to be wrong with me.
You are the common denominator.
Right. So, and I'm not exonerating them for anything, but I couldn't blame them no more for the issue. I had to look in the mirror and find out what was wrong with me. I had to be honest with myself. And when you become honest with yourself, you're not going to like it for a minute. Because as the scriptures say, the truth will set you free. But first it's going to piss you off.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to have a come to, as old people say, I had to have a come to Jesus meeting. I had to sit down and write out some things about myself, figure out what was my next step, figure out what were the same mistakes I kept repeating that kept putting me in the same hole. If you want to stop digging, if you want the hole to stop being dug, then stop digging. Because you're the person that's putting yourself in the hole. But once again, you want to blame the economy, you want to blame the president, you want to blame the community, you want to blame everybody but yourself.
That's
we got to take responsibility. That's the first place of becoming successful, is you got to take responsibility. You got to be accountable to yourself first. And if you're not accountable to yourself, you're not accountable to anybody.
And I hear a lot of people always talking about accountability coach. And again, you got to be accountable to yourself first before you can always take someone serious to hold you accountable. But,
Absolutely, sir.
I definitely believe in looking at the man in the mirror.
You must, man. That's the only person now, when I see things in other people that disturb me or make me go, wow, why are they doing that? I don't prejudge them anymore. I don't say anything negative. The first thing I ask myself, why don't I like what I see? When you don't like what you see in somebody else, it's in you. That's why you see it. And if you don't address it, it's going to always be an issue. And you're going to always see the flaws in other. Once again, if we're going to talk about scripture, the scripture says you talk about the speck in his eye and you got a whole plank in yours.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's easy for me to talk about what's wrong with Michael Burden, but I don't want to talk about what's wrong with Shawn Perrin. Shawn, what's wrong with you? And when I started learning how to look at the man in the mirror, that song about Michael Jackson, Man in the Mirror, every time I hear it, it makes me cry. Because it brings back memories of me learning to become a better man.
And that's still a good-ass song.
It's a deep. Matter of fact, when we get off, I'm going to play it before I go to sleep. Because it makes me have to be accountable, Mr. Burden. Because the man in the mirror is the one that's in control. So many times, and there's nothing wrong with prayer. There's nothing wrong with asking other people to pray for you. But most of the things that you're praying for and asking other people to pray for you for, you already know what you're supposed to be doing in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you want somebody else to pat you on the back and tell you it's going to be okay. Yes, it's going to be okay if you decide to get up off your knees and go make it happen.
Yep, that is so true. So there it is. So Shawn, I'm gonna continue to reach out to you because I want to put your information out there. We're gonna make I'm gonna make a doodle video that talk about estate planning, and then continue to push that in the community and stress the importance of estate planning and wills and how it can help our generation. And one other thing before I leave, I want to get your opinion on. Is estate planning even pertinent if we don't marry the person? Because, in our community, and I don't even want to shout out too many people, we'll stay with a girl 10, 15, 20 years and won't even marry her. Have like 10 kids, won't even marry her. Which it makes no sense to me, but some people do it and I can't knock them on it. But does a will or trust or estate planning, is that even pertinent in those situations?
Absolutely, because guess what? You still need to set something up. Perfect example. We had a lady. Her son was 19 years old. He got killed in a motorcycle accident. He had a deadbeat father. Listen what I'm finna say. The son was hit by an 18-wheeler and killed, and it was not his fault. So, of course, the company was sued. He got a big settlement. The deadbeat father found out that his son had got killed and had got a big settlement. Guess what the deadbeat father did? He went and got an attorney, came and sued the mom and got half the money because the son at 19 didn't have a will. Never did anything for the child.
Wow.
And got half.
People get a will. But yeah, I mean that is hot. That should be hot in the community, you guys. So we definitely gonna continue to stress that on every show, man, about will, estate planning, and all this stuff. And I'd love for you to be a rotational guest on here, man, to talk about things that come up in your life that you can share with us. You being an OG and things that, you've encountered things that we can never encounter, and the issues or mistakes that you made can help us and can help, the younger generation, especially in Epperton. So,
absolutely. I would be delighted to, Mr. Burton. I would be delighted to do that.
Hey, man, but the pleasure was all mine, man. So this is mealprepmonday.podbean.com. Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, Meal Prep Monday. We're here with Mr. Shawn K. Perrin. Y'all can follow him on IG. What's your IG handle, Mr. Perrin?
Oh, man, you know what? You asked me something I don't even know. Shawn K. Perrin.
Shawn K. Perrin on Instagram, you guys. He's on me, Mr. Everton, and on Meal Prep Monday. So y'all follow him. He got a lot of great information out here. Shawn K. Perrin on IG. And either way, scroll through my friend list. You'll see him on there. So I salute you, Mr. Perrin. And then I look for you having as a rotational guest. And I continue to put your information out there. I definitely appreciate you and your time tonight, sir.
Hey, man, once again, man, thank you for the opportunity, first of all. Thank you for having the vision to create this platform, sir. Thank you for having the heart that you care so much about the community as a whole and the world, man. May blessings continue to fall upon you and your family, man. Thank you for this opportunity. I look forward to continue to collaborate with you to bring this information out to our people, man, and to the world.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And you tell Keefe I said what's up. And he know my cousin Craig Burton. So you say, hey, this is Michael Burton. He remember me from high school.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Craig is always, clown me about
a character, yeah.
Yeah, Craig is good people, man. I just give him a hard time growing up, but he's a good dude, man.
Yeah. That's my first cousin, Craig Burton. All right, guys.
Your brother Patrick, man, was me and him classmates. I didn't even know that was your brother, man.
Yeah, man, Patrick. Yeah, he down there in Covington. Conyers,
yeah,
Covington.
He got his barbershops going, man.
Class Cuts.
Yes, sir, man. I love to see anybody become entrepreneurs, man. That
Indeed.
just makes my heart it just makes me feel so good, man, to see, especially our people and people we grew up with doing those things like that, man. So continue doing what you're doing, Mr. Burton, man. Once again, thank you for the opportunity, my brother.
Pleasure was all mine. Salute.
All right, brother. You too, my friend. God bless you.
All right, IG Live. Peace out.